Welcome to Downtime in the Apocalypse, a podcast where Ted talks and Kevin listens. I'm Ted.
And I'm Kevin.
Listeners, just a reminder, daylight savings time is coming. It's useless, pointless, and sucks.
I agree, Ted. That all those things are very, very true. So yeah.
Kevin, do you know about the origin of daylight savings time?
No, I do not. Please enlighten me.
Okay. Now, I heard when I was young it was for farmers.
Okay.
This didn't make sense then, and it doesn't make sense now.
All right. Go on.
Well, there was like, oh, farmers need the light time, so we adjusted to them, blah, blah, blah. Makes no sense. Never did.
Okay, yeah.
Farmers are smart enough to know when they need to wake up and how to do things. Turns out, daylight saving time was made by the Kaiser in World War I to try to save energy for the German war machine.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The reason you occasionally lose some sleep and thousands upon thousands of people are late every year, losing millions of dollars in productivity, is because a German king thought it was a good idea.
Okay. I never knew that. That's so weird. Okay.
Yeah.
Why is that a thing then? Still.
Inertia. Once you put something in place, it's hard to stop it.
Okay.
That's it. That's legitimately why we have daylight savings time. And the data that shows it helps. There's an argument whether or not daylight saving time increases or decreases electrical bills by 1% or so.
Well, I mean that 1% is kind of big.
Yeah, however, it's dwarfed by the lost productivity hours from 1 hour of a workday.
Oh well. Okay, so screw that then. Yeah.
Yeah, no. If we were talking 10%, this would matter, but we're not. We're talking maybe a 1%.
Yeah, that's so weird. Like, I don't, that's so odd to me. Well, Ted, besides daylight savings time coming up, which is, we can all agree, useless. How have you been doing otherwise? How's your food and everything else been going?
You know, my food rations have been good. Keeping them stocked up. The grocery stores finally have flour in abundance again.
Yeah, cricket flour though, so it's made out of the crickets.
I mean, the
Better than
protein
nothing.
ratio on crickets is amazing. So
Yeah, the ratio is fine, but you have to eat a lot of crickets. You still have to eat a lot of crickets.
yeah, but that's why they make it into flour. I mean, Kevin,
It tastes weird.
Have you not had my chocolate chirp cookies?
I've had your chocolate chirp cookies. There's still legs in them sometimes, even though it's made out of flour.
Oh no, sometimes I put whole crickets in those. You do that normally. I do
What?
try to de-leg them.
Why would you put a whole cricket if you just got the cricket flour?
So if you feed them peanut butter or Nutella before you bake them, they actually have an excellent flavor.
Doesn't that seem like, okay, so people have like a problem with like keeping cows and doing veal and stuff like that, but no, I'm just gonna feed this cricket like peanut butter and then just eat it. How's that okay? Why do bugs get like a weird rap with like not animal cruelty?
You know, Kevin, part of me actually does agree with you on this, and part of me just cannot care or give empathy to insects. Like, I mean, we all have our lines. I'm not saying they're rational,
Okay.
but I'm just saying I can't care about individual crickets. I can care about individual bees for some reason, but not crickets. If there's a ladybug, I will do everything in my power to make sure it gets outside in the summer. But if it's a cricket, I don't care.
So you're not cricket intolerant, I guess.
No,
I guess I don't know.
I don't understand why, Kevin. I'm not saying this makes rational sense.
I'm not saying it. Oh, yeah, okay. All right. That was my little thing. But please continue on.
All right, fair. But no, as for like novelty things I've been rationing or trying to get into my life. All right, look, Kevin. I don't know if you've run into one of these weird Herbalite shake places.
Yes, I've seen them, but I've never gone in them.
There's one near us in Leicester.
Yeah.
But it is now one of the few businesses that have opened in my small enclave, and I don't know why this would open under the best of circumstances. I definitely don't understand how they thought it was a good idea to open this business this year.
Yeah. That takes some like cojones to open up a business. Like any type of business right now being opened up during the quote unquote apocalypse that takes a lot.
Yeah, I don't think this is a good time to risk your hard-earned capital on business ventures.
It's normally scary during a good time.
Right, though? Like, opening a business, best case scenario is very risky.
Hey Ted, let's go open up like a diner and see how long that lasts for.
Yeah, what could possibly go wrong?
Yeah.
Now, this place, it isn't like dine-in place. It is a
Right.
shake place. You go in, there isn't a drive-thru or anything. You just wait in line.
That's already
order-
that's already an X against them surviving.
it could actually be a drive-thru, fairly easy.
Yeah.
But you just go in, get your weird shake, tea,
Thing.
or protein coffee.
Yeah, that doesn't sound bad actually when you say protein coffee.
No, it's not bad, but they're all very overpriced. They're all Herbalife products. I'm fairly sure the not pyramid scheme of Herbalife encourages things to be open as franchises.
Yeah.
Like, it's always younger and older women seem to run this, like people fresh out of college and people that are retired.
Right.
I've seen one guy and one woman of like traditional working age at one of these places, and I just imagine it's a bunch of friends get together and decide to start a business.
Yeah, basically like let's pull our money together and like we can make the world better and like people can like really like this Herbalife stuff and it's not a cult, I swear. It's going to be fine.
Yeah, and there's always too many people working in them.
Okay,
Because,
yeah.
like, the kitchen is all
Overstaffed.
the kitchen in all these places at most is 5x8,
Okay, yep. Yep.
which is awful. Like, and imagine having 3 people in those.
Oh my god. I go to like a Subway and I think that's too narrow for like that many people really.
But Subway, even then, Subway has the most streamlined possible way
Yeah.
of doing things. Like,
It's very
everything is
factory
in a
line.
very important order. It's
Yeah.
it's hard to mess up. Grab
Yeah.
the bread here, put it in the oven, turn it around. You got all the ingredients.
It's also hard to make it taste good because Subway is terrible, by the way.
I mean, it's not my favorite, but I won't say it's terrible.
I think it's terrible because their meat looks like dead. The meat does not look good.
Okay, so vegetarian here, so maybe it's just bad.
Yeah, if it's bad meat, then that's not good. That's
Okay,
a bad
fair.
thing for Subway.
Get a veggie sandwich then. Anyways, these
Maybe it's just bad meat. Yeah, that's the thing I'm talking about.
just get a veggie sandwich, Kevin. Stop distracting me. I'm trying to complain about these Herbalife stores.
I'm sorry. Please continue. Continue your crusade.
All right, look.
Your holy crusade against
Yeah.
Herbalife.
It takes about 5 minutes to get one of your shakes or teas or anything.
Already too long.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter if there's 3 people or 1 person working there. It takes the same amount of time.
This is like Schrodinger's like grocery. It's like regardless of how many people are there, it will always take the same amount of time.
Look, Kevin, I don't understand this either. But, like, there's a lot of steps, and like, there's never enough blenders or anything for these. And then after I've waited 5 minutes for my okay shake or like
Subpar.
coffee with protein powder in it that I paid $9 for.
Where you could just buy the protein powder for $9 and just add it on your own with.
Yeah, look, I'm trying to support my local businesses.
Right.
Like, that is why I keep going to these places.
And that's why we're talking about them right now.
Okay, but I'm pretty sure everyone listening either doesn't care or lives fairly far away.
That's fair. Okay, you're right.
But I cannot figure out why they thought these would be good ideas. But they're everywhere now. And
Yeah.
they're never in like buildings that look like businesses.
No, it's like weird, kind of like office, kind of like, I don't know how to describe them.
The one that they're in my little enclave
Yeah.
was a laundromat.
That's weird. That's
And
really weird.
The laundromat rents out the top floors
Yeah.
to live in and looks like a house.
Why? Why would they do that? I mean, I guess like real estate is where it is, I guess. So
I guess, but I can't imagine the real estate market's booming right now.
no, it's not. I wouldn't think so, my man.
All right, but anyways, one more complaint - detail about these places.
Yes, please.
They do have one protein coffee I like.
Oh, the one like the holy grail of
Yes,
this holy
and
coffee
it's still
place.
like 70% ice, but
But you take what you can get. Yeah.
I'm trying to support local businesses, and I want my double chocolate espresso.
Which is hard to screw up, by the way. That sounds like in theory that's really hard to screw up.
Yeah, right? It's very, very hard to screw up chocolate and espresso flavor.
Yeah.
They're all sold out. They can't get it from their distributor.
So, like the best flavor that you would want is just gone.
Yeah, there is just no best flavor anymore. That's just removed. They've been trying to order more.
Yeah.
Now, we're in the apocalypse. Supply lines are going down.
Yeah.
But
the
also-
ley lines are not strong here.
Kevin, we haven't got to those Palladium books yet.
Oh God! All right.
Oh, ley lines have such a big role.
I how stupid that is. I want to just enjoy this coffee and just go for that.
Okay, fair, Kevin. Besides coffee, what have you been consuming?
Okay, so besides coffee, one thing that I have been consuming quite a large amount of is pickles. Pickles. I love pickles.
I don't know what you're referencing.
No, I just love pickles. I wasn't referencing anything in particular.
Oh, okay. I wasn't the way you were saying pickle.
No, I'm just saying it in a weird way. But pickles are amazing and something I love. And one of the I'm sorry, the reason why I'm laughing is because Ted hates pickles.
Look, I don't understand why I hate pickles either.
Yeah, like he likes like vinegar. He likes
I
like
love vinegary things. I
yeah,
love cucumbers.
yeah,
I like pickled everything else, but
garlic.
garlic is one of my pickled garlic is delicious.
It is, yeah,
Pickled cabbage is great.
yeah.
Kimchi is what I had for breakfast this morning.
Kimchi is great. I love kimchi.
Yeah, but for some reason, pickled cucumbers I can't stand.
I think I know why. I think it's just like the pickle itself. Like when it turns into like a different kind of state when it's like pickled at that point. So the texture is kind of weird, and then biting into it is kind of weird. Like, would you say like that is it?
See, I don't know. The majority of the pickles I've had were in burgers.
Oh, so you haven't had like the raw pickle?
I have. I
Okay.
did not like them. But
Okay.
I'm just thinking like the last time I had pickles was a couple weeks ago. I went to a Burger King, got an Impossible Whopper,
And accidentally you got pickles on your burger.
and I accidentally got pickles on my burger.
That sounds like a Goosebumps story. Like, oh, accidentally got pickles on my burger. I died.
I don't know. It's always such a shock because I'm thinking,
Pickles.
yeah, but I don't know what it is at first. It's just suddenly this
That's like pickles are your kryptonite.
awful sour flavor bursting into my mouth. Just like
That
like
doesn't sound good in
it's
context. Then.
overpowering. Like
This awful sour flavor just bursting into my mouth. Oh God.
Yeah, it's awful.
Okay. So, if you're like a normal person and you like pickles like me, then I suggest you get Sucker Punch pickles, which have three amazing flavors: dill, which is
The classic.
classic flavor. They have like habanero, which also is pretty good, and they also have sweet onion.
Ooh.
Yeah, which is also just fantastic. And then I just like two other brands too that are like maple bourbon, which was pretty good, and also got one that was like mango habanero.
Okay, mango habanero sounds amazing. I'm not sure about maple bourbon.
It's not bad. It's like it's kind of like weirdly, it's a weird sweet. So like you get like that bourbon taste, and it's like marmalade-y or like I don't know how to describe that, molassesy. So it's like that with a pickle.
Okay.
So you wouldn't like it.
No. That sounds awful, Kevin, but honestly, I'm sure you like it. Sounds right up your alley.
It is right up my alley. And let me just complain about one thing about pickles really quick. They're too expensive. They should be cheaper. They're just pickles.
How much are pickles?
I mean, if you want to get like some good pickles, it's like $5.99 a jar.
Like
Not that
what size jar? We're talking about
like yay big. Like I would say like from hand to here, like bigger than the coffee cup, but not that much bigger.
Yeah, listener. In case you hear weird noise in the background, Kevin's dog, not the weird facsimile of a dog that is his French bulldog, but his actual dog Jerry, is in the room with us. And,
Yeah, he is.
He was chewing a loud squeaking toy, which Kevin said the only way to get him to stop was just take it away from him.
Well, yeah, he loves that squeaky toy.
I threw it over on a top of the couch. It didn't work, so I threw it into a baby crib, which he has been struggling to get into. Kevin, could we just throw this upstairs and just have him and the squeak toy out of our lives for a little while? I feel like we don't really need Jerry down here. I understand he's your audio editing consultant.
Well, I mean, ever since he developed that frontal lobe of his, he's been like really good at the audio editing, and he's been telling me to get rid of you as a partner. But I'm gonna listen to you this one time.
Yeah,
all right.
Okay. Excuse me as I dispose of.
I don't like how you say dispose of my dog. I don't like that at all. It's the only one that's not a French bulldog, man.
I mean, Kevin, you'll still always have Stu.
I know the facsimile of a dog.
Who's in the building? Stu, stop blocking the stairs.
Well, yeah, that dog is a jerk, man. It's a facsimile of a dog. Hey, 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 hey! Hey!
Okay, well, I'm more awake now. Did you pause the recording? Because if not, this is going to be amazing.
No, I did not pause the recording now.
Okay, so, Kevin, you might have to edit that a bit, but, so, I put the toy upstairs.
Yeah, you did.
Jerry, adorably kind of bounced up the stairs to get it. Stu was up there blocking it, which I didn't think of anything, and Jerry just was, like, avoiding him. So I went up there to try to, like, move Stu a bit, and then Jerry followed me. And then they started, as my lovely girlfriend would say, playing bitey face, where they just start trying to bite each other's faces.
Face off, yeah.
Yeah.
As you do.
Rather viciously, I may add.
So here's the thing, like, relationship wise between Stu and Jerry, right? Stu is what I would call a jerk. So, like, all the time, all the time, he's just standing there. He's like doing that, like, you want to fight, bro, kind of look in his face, like, all the time to Jerry. And Jerry is he just wants his toy. That's all he wants. He just wants to play, and he wants his toy. And he's, like, so close to the breaking point, and he just snaps, and he tries to tear his face off.
I am suddenly understanding Kevin's opinion on French Bulldogs. Look, I've given him a lot of shit about this for literal years at this point.
Yes, the white gold comment still haunts me.
I still stand by that.
I know you do. I know you do.
But
I know you do.
I suddenly get it a bit more.
Okay.
Especially if that's your primary. Maybe you just need some friendlier French Bulldogs in your life.
French Bulldogs are all genetically mean. They're all, dude. They're all genetically mean. If you find me, like, a nice French Bulldog, I'll be surprised. They're all meant to be like jerks. They're all jerks. I've been telling you this for years.
I don't know. The puppy seems sweet.
Hasn't grown up into its jerk yet.
All right, Kevin. Besides making your anti-French Bulldog blogs, what have you been doing this week to entertain yourself?
Yeah, so please go to my WordPress blog, www.stopthebulldog, and .org. But what I want to, you want to see, stop. Yeah. So what I've been doing this past week has been playing 2 video games, and those are Stronghold and FTL.
All right, so I haven't played Stronghold before and really know nothing about it. I've played the hell out of FTL.
FTL is great. I love it.
For the 7 of you or so who don't know what FTL is a roguelike game, one of the first of the kind of the new era of roguelike games.
Yeah, other than, like, yeah, I'd say that's accurate.
And definitely make the genre bigger. So what happens is it's fairly short, just an hour or 2 long, and if you die, you're dead, son.
Yeah, you're dead.
Like,
and you have to start over.
Now, you can unlock new things, new ships to start with and everything at the beginning by doing certain things, but you don't really get that much for dying.
No, like, if you die, then it's it's not very nice to you. It's pretty punishing, I would say. It's just like, your score is this, go back.
Yeah, and now it's also interesting because the story of the game is that you are working for the United Federation of Planets, or whatever the intergalactic government is.
Yeah, Star Trek.
Yeah, and you're actually trying to get to the capital to warn them about the rebels.
Yeah, which is like I feel like that's a nice little take on, let's say, the Star Wars thing, where the rebels are always the good guys. Not necessarily.
Yeah, no, they can just be jerks.
Yeah.
Now, no matter what, once you get to the end where you're supposed to be warning your people anyways, you have to fight the rebel Death Star by yourself.
Yep. It's kind of like the new Star Wars movie, where, like, the new rebels are the bad guys at this point. The First Order, which are, like, the rebels now, and then it's like a weird thing because
it's never quite explained what the First Order's, like, role is, because they talk about, like, their agreements with the New Republic and all this.
Yeah.
And, like, is this their military? Is this a different faction?
I thought it was like the I don't know, splintered off sections of the Empire.
Yeah, I thought it was a different sovereign state.
Okay, yeah.
But then it's just kind of 2 sovereign states going to war, isn't?
And they're still called the rebels, though.
Well, they start becoming rebels once they're the resistance at first, which
Oh, the resist. That's also stupid.
well, they're the resistance because the Republic hasn't condoned their actions, so
Oh,
they're
okay.
working kind of as a non-government agent. They're terrorists, yes, they
Yeah,
are,
okay. They're basically
uh,
terrorists. Okay.
against the Nazi-ish government. So it gets the
We have to become the terrorists to fight the
okay.
terrorists.
Wow, this gets really morally blurry real
It does
quick.
really quick. This is like the IRA, basically. I. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
uh,
Oh God, how do we go from like a fun video game where I can play a Mantis Man
oh yeah, the Mantis Man. The
to the
Mantises are like
IRA?
really well. The Mantises are really funny.
Yeah, so you can so part of this is every time you move, you go to a little event place,
Yeah.
and you can try to upgrade your ship or at least keep it fueled or try to get money or stop pirates, recruit crew, which is basically my primary goal. I play.
Mine's always shields.
Yeah, oh, I just like having a bunch of crew. I give them cool names and backstories.
Oh, nice,
Um,
nice.
the amount of like RPG games I've played where more or less it is a story of FTL's like weird quirky crew.
Yes, yes, yes. I like that.
Yeah, and then you can do some cool things like there are these rock people who don't need oxygen, and these psychic people that can fuel your areas. You can just play a human, so you don't
And
suck at one thing randomly.
yeah, and you got like the slugs.
Oh, they're psychic, right?
They're psychic slugs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they let you see your opponent. That's that one.
I think that yeah, they let you see the inside of like enemy ships.
Yeah, I remember really trying to recruit a space slug when I unlocked the Mantis ship.
Oh
Mantises are
yeah.
just awesome at combat, so you want to get a ship with a teleporter and do some boarding action.
Yes,
So you
yes,
get
yes.
one slug and some Mantis men. You teleport all your Mantis men to one area, have the slug on shields, and just watch the carnage.
Yep, and then the slug just sits back and goes, "Yes, my mantises, prey on them, my praying mantises." I, it's a really fun game. That along with Stronghold is really fun as well. Stronghold is a game where you play as a lord of a castle and you must cite your granary, sire. And that's like a one line that will always pop up in that because it's the first thing you have to always do. If you do not cite your granary, you will die. That is that is just something that goes along with that game.
I mean, I feel like that's a good lesson in life, especially now.
Cite your granary, sire.
I mean, now that we're back to being peasants, bake bread, farm,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
in these troubled times, yeah, make sure that granary stocked, people. You never know when you might need it.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun to kind of go back to older type of games and just like not FTL per se because FTL has been like a more recent game in general. It's it's old compared to like let's say I don't know some of the most recent things that come
Yeah,
out, but it's not like
I'm pretty sure FTL is older than some of my students.
is it really?
Let me check when FTL. You keep talking. Let me check when
Okay.
FTL came.
Yeah, but it's fun to kind of go back to these old games and just enjoy them. Like some of these things you can just like go back to forever and then just re-enjoy, replay, and then you'll still get the same amount of entertainment out of it. Yeah, but had a good time doing both those things. Stronghold was terrible because I was going along into it, and then something terrible where a fire broke out and it burned all my bread.
Yeah, that sounds it. Just going back, Kevin. Turns out FTL is 2 years younger than my youngest student. The recent game is still 8 years old.
God, all right. I feel old now. Have you played Into the Breach?
I own it. I played it briefly.
Yeah.
It's basically the FTL people's take on mech fighting.
Yeah, like Xenoblade or something like that. Yeah.
Okay, look, is that a roguelike too, or is it like a more traditional game?
I'd say it's still like a roguelike just because it's randomly you get to choose where you get to start off in, of course, but it's randomly generated like enemies and everything else like that.
See, I did not know that. I only played like the tutorial missions and such.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you get a random person coming down, random like items. Like it still has that feel to it.
Okay, how often do you die?
A lot,
Okay.
a lot.
Yeah, because I remember one person died and it got replaced with a robot person.
Yeah, the robot person's not great.
And I was just like angry. It's like, oh god, did I just mess up the storyline already?
No, it's
Or is that supposed to happen?
no, but
I mean, it's not supposed to happen, but like a reasonable alternative or whatever.
I mean, it can happen. It's preferable not to let those people die, but it's yeah, it can happen.
Yeah, when they all die, do you start from the beginning again and just keep going, or?
When they all die, it's pretty much over, and you have to restart everything.
Okay, so it is still a roguelike then.
Yeah,
And procedurally generated. Okay, I'll give it a shot.
yeah, and you have to keep on going back in time every single time. So it's a little different like than FTL where it's just like a harsh restart. It's more if you fail, then they know that and they're like, okay, we got to abandon this timeline. We got to go to a different timeline and try again.
Oh, okay.
So they just keep on trying like different timelines to save like the world basically, and they keep on screwing up like a lot of the time.
Can you ever save that timeline?
The no, if it's like abandoned, then it's gone forever. You just have to go to a new timeline now.
Oh, okay. Can you ever beat the game?
You can beat the game. I have not.
Okay. Yeah. Well, FTL, I think I've spent like 60 hours over this game. Now, that sounds to a non-gamer like a lot,
Yeah.
but that's
To a non-gamer, 60 hours sounds like a lot of time, Ted.
look. At one point, I said, "Oh dear God, I almost spent over the span of 5 years. I spent like 2,000 hours on one game." And one guy
Yeah.
just said, "Well, that's a nice start." And then he shows me how many hours he's put into Factorio,
Okay. Yeah.
which he got me on Steam. And I started playing and started liking, and then I stopped for that reason.
Right, because it'd be like,
Yeah, it's like, okay, look, man, apparently you know me better than I thought you did and know exactly where the pleasure centers of my brain are. That was a bad way of putting it. Like, there are certain parts of my brain that, like, there's certain stupid things that I just can't resist. And, like, Factorio is one of them.
yeah, dude, you know the certain pleasure points of my brain and the things I can't resist.
Look, man, I'm was that a weird way of putting it?
Yes.
Yes.
You can just stop there, yes.
Do I stand by it? Also, yes.
Okay.
Like, there's certain things in life that I know are going to be immensely pleasurable, but also I shouldn't do. I shouldn't do heroin, and I shouldn't play Factorio. They would probably have about equal effects on me.
Okay, that's also a stunning recommendation for Factorio. It's like heroin. Please buy it.
Yeah. I just... Look, I'm still playing Stellaris, and I've put so many hours into that. It's become part of my...
Yeah, I've tried to play that, too.
Yeah, if you want, I can bring you through some of the basics that they just put out. Well, they're putting out a patch next week that will finally make it playable again.
Okay.
When they did this major update to the game and redid how all the jobs work, the economies,
yeah,
and more importantly, how populations work,
right,
it got unbearably slow to play in late game.
Okay.
Like it takes place over. It's a sort of a paradox game, and you play a space empire, and you start from just discovering faster light travel.
Yeah.
To saving the galaxy, and over the 200 years, and it's supposed to be about one real life second is supposed to be like 2 days.
Yeah.
Late game, even if you're playing a super powerful PC now, it takes about 10 seconds to do 1 day.
Oh, that's not good.
No, but the new patch with the quality of life, like threading thing and everything, is finally going to fix that a bit.
Nice, that's good.
Yeah, because the only way to play late game Stellaris recently has been playing a Fanatic Purifier, Devouring Swarm, kill all the Xenos sort of thing.
Oh, okay.
If you want to play the Imperium of Man, destroy all the aliens, or a Devouring Swarm, or Skynet.
Yeah, as you do. Yeah,
which are already some of the best playstyles.
Yeah,
Now they're the only one where you can play late game.
Okay, good to know.
All right, so
what have you been doing?
Okay, so I'm not going to talk about Stellaris because that's next week when the patch comes out.
Yes.
Or 2 weeks. I'm not entirely sure. Days mean nothing to me, Kevin.
Sorry, go on.
But I'm playing a different video game lately. Dark Souls.
Now, is Dark Souls the game where you have to get good?
Yes, Kevin. Yes, it is.
All right. Is it Dark Souls?
This is hard.
Is Dark Souls the game with the Estus flask?
This is hard because I know how much Kevin loves Dark Souls.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Also, Kevin, like, the first one's a meme. Get good. Yeah, that's a meme.
Yeah.
Anyone who, like, has heard Dark Souls has probably heard that.
Yeah.
Estus Flask is a lot more niche a joke.
That is more niche of a joke.
It's
That's
the health potion of that game.
Yeah.
So, Dark Souls, brutally hard game. I love it. I was recently at Blackstone Valley, a local shopping mall. I was supposed to have lunch with a friend. They canceled. Not their fault. They had a perfectly legitimate reason.
Yeah. Got hit by a zombie.
Zombies. You know how it works.
Well, now they're allowed to drive, so I don't understand that.
Hey, man, zombie rights party for the win.
Oh, yeah, that's the other part we have to talk about.
Yeah. Oh, man, I have so much to talk about that.
Yeah.
Anyways, but I went to Blackstone. There was a GameStop there. Dark Souls for the Switch was on sale, and I'm one of their members, so I already had like a $20 coupon set up, so I bought it for like $10.
Nice.
And it's for my Switch, which I have a Switch Lite, which I refer to as the Mega Game Boy.
Ah, yes, the Mega Game Boy.
Look, it's like a Game Boy. It's basically a cell phone size screen with controller attached.
Yeah, it's basically like a sideways cell phone with like a good controller.
Yeah, I'm sick of freaking touchscreens. I miss buttons. God damn it.
Buttons are like, it's so much better with a button.
Yeah, right. Hell, you know what? I'm still kind of surprised we haven't got like touch smartphones with keyboards.
I mean, we used to have that.
Yeah, but I mean better ones.
Yeah,
They
okay.
you could do that. I mean, hell, just have a joystick on the side of it to act as a mouse,
Could do that as well. I mean, I don't know.
or have it be a touchscreen so you can do things, but also have a keyboard that you can type on.
I wouldn't mind actually, like, you remember like the rolly ball kind of
Yeah, a
thing?
trackball.
Yeah, like a trackball. I wouldn't mind like having one of those on a phone.
Ooh, I never thought of that, Kevin, but that's
Yeah.
great. Okay, so I've been playing Dark Souls though.
Yeah.
Not with a trackball, unfortunately, with my little Switch, which, like I said, I can play.
Your little Switch.
And it's great. I was going to complain almost how much like I played it with no patches originally, so
Right.
every patch they put in made it a bit easier.
Yeah.
I was going to complain about how easy the game was to my memory, but I just got to Ornstein and Smo, and I have not been able to beat them in 3 days. I'm doing the Painted World of Ariamis just for the fun of it, though
Yeah.
I realized that when I beat it, I'm just going to have the souls for Priscilla and probably nothing else.
Okay, right.
So like, I'm not going to get anything from this other than just some fun. I'm going to have to go back and grind properly,
Right.
and I don't even know to what purpose. Like, I thought it was just me. Like, I was really like, maybe I'm just out of it. Like, I have a +10 scythe. Like, I have good weapons and
Yeah.
armor and everything. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's just me. I'm gonna summon some help. So I summon Solaire, the best sun bro, one of the people you can do in the game.
Yeah, yeah.
Another meme. And
Another.
and in Dark Souls,
You summoned a meme.
yeah, in Dark Souls, you can both invite other players to help you and get invaded by them and killed by them. But I summoned a character to help me who is in this awesome armor. It's called the Havel set with this massive thing.
Yeah.
His name was Vegeta.
Yeah.
And Vegeta just sucked.
Oh,
Like
okay.
watching this other player fight Orzi and Smo, I thought he was in this big armor, and I'm a bit of a leaner, meaner build.
Right.
I'm still in decent armor, but I have all the cool stuff to make it lower, so I can dodge around and everything.
Yeah.
So I'm just going around, and I'm he's blocking all their blows and taking it, and they'll eventually go to me, and he'll get one cool swipe, and we're going back and forth. But man, he's got wrecked so ridiculously quick. Like, it was painful. Like, I could see the hammer blows coming from a mile away, and I could see him about to get hit.
Yeah.
And there's no way to warn him.
Right.
But it was like, I'm just like looking at him and like, there's no way he doesn't see this coming, does he? Like, how is he missing this? It's got to be in his like. It's like, okay, maybe I'm not saying I'm good at Dark Souls, but I'm apparently not that bad because
You're not as bad as that guy.
Yeah, it was just like, okay, but like, he knew what he was doing. He had the Havel set and everything. You have to know what you're doing. You have the spectrums for built. Even to use those shields and stuff, you have to have a pretty high level.
Yeah.
So I just don't know what happened there.
At the same time too, like with like how everything goes today with online guides and everything, it could be like, well, yeah, I could just get the Havel set and then it should be fine.
True. Okay, so I played Dark Souls way after it came out, but
Yeah.
I didn't have like an online connection PC or anything. So,
Yeah, so you didn't get to experience one of the most frustrating parts of the game.
Yeah. So that being said, I happened to discover one of the better weapons, the Great Scythe, and
Yeah.
that I did look up some of the tricks on how to do it. Like, I beat the original Havel pretty easily, actually.
Yeah.
Because turns out if you strip naked, you don't take much falling damage, and he's wearing a ton of armor.
Yes.
So I just literally had him chase me off stairs over and over again. But I have the Ring of Favor and Protection we have to do from killing a guy who you should kill anyways because he's clearly going to murder a girl. Why haven't you killed him already?
Well, yeah.
Lautrec is evil.
Yeah.
But
Spoiler.
if you don't get that from his first laugh, you need to, I don't know, develop a better insight of people.
Well, you need to roll better on insight. Yes, I agree.
So I knew some of the tricks going in. The first time I played the game, Quelaag was for some reason my big block point, and after that it was super easy.
Right.
This time, the more traditional block point of Orty and Smell, which are, I think, pretty universally agreed on to be the hardest boss in the game,
Yeah.
is now my blocking point.
I do remember just like talking about this briefly and saying like, "Oh, the game's so much more easy now." And then yeah.
I breezed through the first. Like, in a
Yeah.
few hours, I had already beat Quelaag. Like, it was...
Right. So yeah.
And it took me, I want to say, 10 minutes to get through Sense Fortress.
Yes.
I've never had a problem with Sense Fortress. I don't know why.
Okay. Well, all
like,
right.
Everyone's always like, oh god, I hate that level or anything. It's like, and I always breeze through it.
You always like crush that thing.
I legitimately, I don't know why. That was one thing. I didn't do much exploring.
Yeah.
But like, I'm just, and like this, I didn't look up a guide. I should have, because I don't know where Big Hat Logan or any of like the cool things are. But I can get through Sense Fortress like no one's business.
Right. Okay. All right. Yeah, it's fair. Very fair. So going through Dark Souls just a little bit here. Do you think some people complain that Dark Souls is like way too hard?
So Dark Souls is very hard. That's kind of the selling point of the game. I mean, you get an achievement when you die the first time called Welcome to Dark Souls in Dark Souls 2, I think.
Yeah, I think that's in Dark Souls 2. That's stupid. Well,
and that's a good selling point. I think the reason is it's beatable is the thing. Like
there's a way.
Yeah, it's not gimmicky a lot of the time. You know, it's just here's the boss, here's you, figure out a way.
Okay. All right.
And I feel like people enjoy that challenge. And once you kind of play enough Dark Souls, there is sort of some YouTuber said this like Zen moment in Dark Souls where like suddenly you start interpreting where everything's going to be and everything. And I hit that with Quelaag in this last playthrough where I just sort of like, okay, she's going to, I could see the subtle movements. It's just slightly telegraphed.
Yeah.
You can move with her. It feels very accomplishing when you kind of get to that state.
Right.
Or alternatively, even hard pressing and just like memorizing all their tells, not intuitively, and just being able to react and kill them very quickly.
Yeah.
Is very satisfying.
Like no, definitely, I agree.
It is that sort of thing. Even then, facing other players and fighting them is always like a very interesting duel.
Right.
Joining each other and helping beat bosses in jolly cooperation. Is always fun. Though I still think they did it better in 3.
Okay. Yeah.
Because you didn't have a limited resource for that. You could just put down your sign.
Yeah.
And because I didn't have to risk all that much doing it, I helped a lot more.
Right.
And I loved it. In that game there's the Faring Guardians or something, and I just liked that boss fight so much. I just helped everyone I could. I did that boss fight probably 50 times because I just loved doing it.
That's fair. I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's harder to do that in Dark Souls 1.
Yes.
Also, okay, one more to play about Dark Souls 1, and then we'll move on. This is something that I'm sure existed before, but since I was playing offline, I never got to experience.
Right.
I've been invaded in just stupid spots.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
I got invaded 3 times as I was going to Ortsy and Smo's room.
Yep.
Which sucks. I was invaded right where the dragon bridge is after the Minotaur.
Yep. Okay.
Now, I don't mind being invaded. That is part of the game.
That's part of the game, true. But
I'm sick of being invaded by COVID-19. Everyone has the same username. Everyone is just COVID-19. Now, I randomly made a character. I pressed the random button and just got like I happened to get a woman, which also confuses me when she gets hit. It's like a female sound of pain comes out. I'm like, oh, what the hell?
Oh, right. It's a woman.
Yeah, but I named her Trinity because I thought, she looks like Trinity.
Yeah. Okay.
So like that was just how I got the name. I never did like the gimmicky name thing.
Yes.
But oh my god, the amount of people who just named their characters COVID-19 for the sole point of that joke bugs me.
Yeah, I mean, it's also not a very good joke the first 30 times you see it.
Yeah.
So it's, I mean, that's annoying. That's annoying and a half.
The problem is I've been invaded by a couple people at Orthos.
Right.
But it's very clear those are just people having fun with it, and the people that are invading with the COVID-19 made their character spec and everything to invade. Like, the one who invaded me on the Dragon Bridge very clearly had a ton of fire resistance, because when the dragon breathed all the fire, which I tried to get away from and failed, like, my thought was, I can trigger this, run away, and kill him.
Yeah.
It breathed them both. I died. He got up. I'm like, this guy has clearly put a lot of thought in how to beat me in exactly this scenario.
Yeah, screw this guy, basically. Yeah, yeah. No, I see what you're saying. I personally I enjoy. Okay. So in case you don't know this about me, I personally enjoy having things in games like that, sort of like the well, just like the hindering of progress or having to like lose all your souls and then just having somebody on the other side of that doing it, which I think is both funny and fun. So I love that idea. Hate when it happens to me, but I love that idea.
Yeah, so I'm a bit different, Kevin. I very much enjoyed like the dueling ground areas of Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Dark Souls 3 had a lot of very good ones for this,
Mm.
but it was more consensual.
Well, yeah, yeah.
I
It's a
mean,
dueling ground. Yeah.
yeah, if you're going to match your wits against somebody, I prefer it that way.
I would rather do it sneakily and terribly behind the person's back and just go like, "Meh," stab them.
That's not for me. That being said, when I first played Dark Souls, and I was like, I always use the dark scythe, not great scythe. That's my favorite weapon, followed by
Yeah.
his Y-hander.
Yeah.
And at one point, I was in more or less Grim Reaper clothes and would invade that way in Blighttown.
Nice. Okay.
Which, by the way, don't invade in Blighttown. That's a really dick move.
Yeah. Well, it is. Yes. Yeah. If your name is COVID, maybe you should, but otherwise,
That's like
yeah.
Actually, I think that's where I didn't get it.
That's weird. I would think that'd be like a big prime spot. At like never.
Yeah, never. I can't actually remember ever being invaded in Blighttown. Maybe I'm just misremembering. I don't know. It's morning, Kevin. I don't really wake up. Maybe I'm just like having some weird hallucination about trying to invade someone in Blighttown. But I mean, besides the NPC that invades there,
Yeah.
never
No.
happened.
Yeah.
Which is the perfect spot to get invaded by COVID-19. It's called Blighttown.
Yeah.
It's a toxic swamp. COVID, invade there and literally nowhere else. I feel like that's
a toxic swamp. Are you talking about Washington D.C.?
doo-doo.
Yeah, which has literally turned into a swamp now.
No loss.
No lot. Yeah, it's the same.
Look. America has fallen. Duncan's has rised.
All hail the Duncan.
All hail the Dunks.
You want to do that together again?
All
hail the Dunks. All hail the Dunks. All hail the Dunks. Okay, good. Sorry, we have to do that every morning. Otherwise, the secret assassins that are staged in the walls will kill us.
I feel like it's a waste of both their time and ours.
Yeah.
I'll do it anyways.
I've
been doing that for about a decade now, and everyone's been looking at me weird.
Well, you gotta get a good social credit score first if you want to have that happen, my friend.
Yeah, my social credit score is pretty awful.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah,
so,
especially when someone in Kurdistan is downloading this. You know who you are.
So we've had a pretty good time today so far, but let's talk about something else. Let's talk about Suburban Sasquatch just for a second. Now, Ted, you did not enjoy Suburban Sasquatch.
No, and I think I made my poor reason very clear. It was made to be bad.
I'll disagree with that, but one of those things that really you took out of that whole experience was that if you put enough effort into something, you can make it good.
Yes. So we looked at some RPGs this week with a ridiculous restriction: 200 words or less.
Yeah.
Micro RPGs, people.
Micro RPGs.
So for I'm assuming majority of you who don't know about these, there's a contest every year to make these, and there's a panel of judges, and they pick winners and losers. I don't know what the prize is, but
it's a micro medal.
Yes, it's a microchip, actually.
It's a microchip. You can download whatever you want onto this microchip.
But they are excellent. They show a lot of love and effort, and are clearly labors of passion.
Yeah, just like Suburban Sasquatch, but continue.
No. Anyways, to prove to Kevin how much you can do with so little,
yeah,
we played a few, and most of which we played were the few that were made for 2 players.
Yes.
We did try to play one that was for 3 players, and we just kind of made an NPC, and I think we did fairly well with that one.
I think that was fairly fun.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go through a few of them right now. So first, we're gonna start with one that me and Kevin were both a bit hesitant starting. It was called Dragon Slayer.
Yes, we were. I was hesitant for a different reason than I think you were.
Why were you hesitant?
Okay, so the idea of the game is that you have to grab another person and look them into the eyes, and you cannot look away from their eyes the whole entire time. So when I thought about having to grab another person, I thought it was going to be both hands.
Yeah, no, it's kind of what you're supposed to do is kind of get them in the warrior's handshake where you grab.
Yeah, like the Spartan kind of yeah.
Yeah, and then you make direct eye contact. What if is the dragon, one of you is the dragon slayer, and you have to describe your actions against each other, but you have to do it with nothing but respect and chivalry.
Yes, the whole entire time.
Like, yeah, and you're supposed to sound noble, and you're not allowed to look away.
Yes. So my main thing was I thought I was gonna be holding both of Ted's hands in my hands and like looking into his eyes, and I thought like, oh, this is weirdly romantic. All right, but hey, I'm a dragon, so I thought that was gonna be the thing, but it's so much better. It's when it's just like a Spartan handshake.
Yeah, okay. That you say it. I was still thinking it was kind of weird, just looking directly to someone's eyes for that long.
Well, yeah, there's that too. But I thought like the holding the hands and then looking into your eyes would be like,
yeah,
this is a weirdly intimate thing to do for this game.
yes, as we kill each other hand in hand.
Yes, hand in hand. I respect you. I only respect you.
Yeah, no, it's one hand warrior's grip, which I think does change the mood
It changes that a lot. It changes it from something else to something else completely.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Kevin.
By the way, fun game.
Oh yeah, it was very fun. It was short. It was good.
Short and sweet.
Yeah, it was probably the shortest one, honestly. When I think of it.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
I mean, one of them, which I'm trying to find the name of right now, is just exactly 15 minutes long.
Is it the one where you can't talk?
Oh yeah, it's called Silence Your Phones.
Silence your phones. Okay, yes.
Okay, so this one, it's a fun one. Now, if you ever seen The Quiet Place the movie where if you make a loud noise, you die, basically.
Yeah, monsters kill you.
This is similar. So congratulations, you're in that awful world. Except the monsters also sense emotional expression.
Yes.
All right, so you have 15 minutes of silence. Silence your phones. That's literally the first rule.
Yep.
Take 5 pictures of your face with them. Try with different
expressions
and meanings behind them. No retakes. So if you mess it up, you just got 2 weird ones.
Yeah.
You have to keep your phone in one hand. You can only communicate through gestures and the pictures on your phone.
Yeah.
15 minutes, which is very difficult.
It was pretty difficult, and just like trying not to react with my face at all was pretty hard.
Yeah, that was harder than expected.
Yeah, like trying not to smile or laugh or like anything like that was harder than I thought it'd be. But yeah, it's also an interesting. I think also more interesting with more people. Definitely.
Oh yeah, that would be
trying to accomplish a task.
Yeah, look, it took me far too long to explain. I want to make a coffee, and should we let the dog?
Yes, it's much harder than you think it would be. People, I suggest everyone tries that. It's a fun thing.
Yeah, which just saying, might be useful in the apocalypse to get used to silently gesturing to each other to try to convey a message in case raiders are coming or something.
Yep, and also being able to just take a decent picture with your phone of your face that conveys a lot.
Yeah.
Which I wasn't able to do that too well.
Yeah. So Kevin, I know a very small amount of sign language.
Yeah.
And they're all like the most useful things I could think of, but like not in the way you'd expect, like weed, cocaine, abortion. Everyone look up the sign for abortion. I don't care if you're pro-life or pro-choice. The sign for abortion is awful.
It really is. He just did it and just gave me like a visceral reaction that I don't like.
D&D, rolling dice, which totally looks like something else.
Yeah, well, this looks like something else. You guys look that up too.
Yeah, like I know
it might bring you to some weird videos, but it's fine. So will the abortion thing, I think. But
but like I always thought like if we're gonna learn like one language in schools besides English, I always feel like trying to like do Spanish or something.
Yeah.
It's like you're never gonna get where you should be.
Right. Okay.
Sign language seems like a good thing to learn in school.
Seems like it would be like a good. Everyone should learn sign language.
Yeah.
I don't see any downsides to learning sign language.
No, but like even if you never interact with someone that needs to like have sign language to communicate.
Yeah.
Just being able to talk to someone across a crowded room that's loud.
Right. And yeah, I mean, it's so useful.
Yeah, right. Like it's like you don't have to think much of it to be like, yeah, that'd be really handy.
Yeah, that's super useful to know. So no problem there.
Or anyone with a new parent, imagine being able to have a full conversation while your kid's sleeping next to you.
Oh, smart. Smart.
like there's
Very smart.
you can do a lot with sign language real quick. But anyways, unfortunately we didn't know sign language, and even if we did, the amount of signs you can do with one hand is rather low.
Yeah, because you have to be holding your phone in the other hand the whole entire time
Yes.
to show your face off. You're badly taking pictures of your face. At least mine are.
I mean, mine was one of them. I was doing a walrus impression, and I still don't
I don't
entirely.
understand like what that was supposed to convey.
I don't know, but I felt like it fit for so many scenarios too.
Because we're just confused and looking at each other, and you just you just like bring up the walrus face. And I was like, huh.
Maybe walrus like orc, like it was.
Yeah, it was like
I extended my like. You could see the bottom row of my teeth, but not the top.
yeah,
And like my jaw was extended a bit.
yeah, and I don't know what you're trying to convey. I don't know, Ted. I don't know.
I don't know either, but it seems so perfect.
Fair.
All right, so on to another game, which I think was Kevin's favorite. No
Yeah.
mistakes, only deeper plans.
That is a pretty good game. I do like it a lot. It one thing with that game in general is the story the way the story progresses. Like you're trying to do like a bank heist.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
two stages: the planning stage and the heist stage.
Yeah.
And you make this very detailed plan, and then you start going to the heist stage, and you roll 2 6-sided die, and you continue until everything goes south when you roll a below a 7.
Yeah.
At which point, you go back to the planning phase and explain how, no, you didn't make a mistake.
This
Really,
is all part of the plan.
It's all part of the plan. And this happened often when me and Kevin did this, and it involves strange things like failing to distract the guards, setting off the security system being actually part of our plan to bring them to another spot.
Yes, yes.
Failing to get the disguises meant that we have an easier time knocking out the guards because they know someone's trying to get disguised.
Exactly, exactly. All part of the plan, man.
All part of the plan. Now, the last bit is always fun because once you're in the vault, only one of you wants to keep the money, or both of you want to keep all of the money. You don't want to make a split or a share.
Yeah, it's like have you ever seen the Dark Knight?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, it's like the end of the Dark Knight where it's like, yeah, we got to get rid of him. It's the end of the plan.
And that's why I shot Kevin in the back twice.
Yeah, he shot me in the back a lot.
Look. It was just perfect opportunity both times. We did the first time. I think I just got you in one shot, but we had like a proper pistol duel the second time.
Yep, still died. But you know that's part of the game when you're a bank robber is sometimes you get shot in the back.
Yeah, no, it was fun. I think it'd be really fun with a group of people, particularly if you're into light-hearted arguments about like the heist stage.
Yes,
And just
yes.
fully once you kind of fully embrace the idea of but no matter what, it's probably going to fail. And it's probably going to be part of this deeper plan. It's going to be that ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, it might end up with you ramming an ice cream truck through the bank vault instead, or something ridiculous.
Yeah. It's fun to see how far it can go from the plan. Yeah. Well, technically not because it's all part of the plan.
All part of the plan.
Yeah.
I like the idea of going in completely serious.
Yeah.
And by the end of it, you're like, and then I throw the chihuahua at the president.
And then I become the vice president, and then you shoot me in the back.
Yes, exactly. I was the designated survivor. And then I rob the National Vault under the White House, where we actually keep all of our gold.
Ooh, yes. And no one was the wiser.
All right. So, moving on. Another game. This is one where Kevin and I both played 2 characters.
Yes.
And I have done with my students a few times for hilarious results. At your Highness's pleasure.
That was a fun one. I like that a lot.
All right. So, here's how this works. Everyone, make a character. You are some sort of noble person or anything. I actually played this with kids, and I didn't really specify the world one time.
Yeah.
So one guy was the Grand Necromancer.
Okay.
Which when you add fancy stuff in it, makes it so much fun as well. You can do it without that. It doesn't really change the game that much. But you all are corrupt advisors to the king. You all have 3 things. An ambitious goal. For example, if you're the crown prince, or not the crown prince, if you're the princess, you might want to become the designated next heir.
Yep.
If you're the head of the guilds, you may want a guild representative in all noble proceedings.
Yep.
If you're a pirate captain, you may want amnesty for your crimes.
Yep. Yeah, those all work out.
And you all have a deadly secret. You may have killed your son. You may be blackmailing a duke. You may be taking bribes. You may have made a pact with a dragon that will eat a village every 13 years.
Yeah, and then whatever happens with that happens with that.
Yeah, so your goal is to obfuscate or obscure your dark secret and further your ambition. Though I found very quickly that a lot of the times the dark secret just becomes ambition number 2.
Yeah, at that point, yes.
So, for example, one of the games we played, I played that princess character I said, who wants to become the heir, and her dark secret or deadly secret was she practices a heretical religion, which very quickly just became trying to get like religious toleration in the
To make
kingdom.
like the secret not so bad.
Yeah, or like one point when I was playing with my students, one of them they made these independently. I always thought that was hilarious. One of them was a prince who was taking bribes from the guild master, and the other guy was the guild master, and they just worked together and to make effects. And it's like, okay, well, what if we make guilds and have taxes only to the crown and everything, and just like make these mutual things, or it just became like you have one ambition and one dark ambition, or like you might have killed your son and suddenly your opponents have a weapon against you. This is an actual example. Kevin's character killed his son, and through some strange political wrangling, that became treason.
Yeah, it did.
So here's what happens. One person...
And gillyweed became a thing to worship.
Yes. That particular drug, that was an interesting substance to be selling, Kevin. Anyone who is not a massive Potterhead, that is the substance Harry eats to get gills.
Yep.
Which Kevin decided was closer to pot than Potter.
Yes, the way you said that too was a Potterhead. That's also something. Yeah, I get you. I get you. Not a Harry Potter head, just a Potter head.
Potterhead's a term.
I've never heard that.
It's in the fandom.
I've never heard that.
All right, listeners, you decide whether or not Potterhead's a thing. All of you have been on Pottermore and have been sorted into both types of houses.
Pottermore is not great.
So, anyways, but one person is the petitioner and around and makes a law. So, if I am the crown princess, I would want to make a law for my ambition or secret. The only rules are it cannot contradict an existing fact about the kingdom.
Yep.
Cannot repeal a law already in place.
Mm-hmm.
And you cannot name any advisor.
Yep.
Which includes yourself. So, for example, the princess may introduce a law that says the heir to the throne shall be chosen by a council of nobles. At which point it would be kicked across the table to the next person. Everyone has a token. And if you give the person that wrote the law your token, you can add a word, delete a word, or change a word.
And that is one word.
Just one. Even if you have multiple, you can only change one.
Yep.
So, if you're someone who is ambitious or, wants to be more politically active, let's say you're a guild master, instead of nobleman, it might become guildsman.
Yeah.
And suddenly, the guilds choose the heir. Man, that's very easy to get a kickback there if you're a rival guild master.
Yes.
This is very fun. I played with some students, and one of them figured out the one problem with the game, and that's if you get all the tokens.
Right, you essentially have a monopoly, basically.
Yeah, so we played with 5 people, and this one guy who is Ambassador Chad, who wanted a noble title in the Holy Kingdom of Blorp they're playing, and his deadly secret was he wasn't actually an ambassador. He made the whole thing up, which I thought was hilarious.
It was pretty funny.
Made a law that's like X, Y, Z people shall not be taxed. And everyone changed that law to add their person to it. Beekeepers, clergy, all that. So he just had all of the tokens, and he goes, great. Everyone, none of our goals are mutually exclusive. So whenever you write a law, if you want it unchanged, give me a kickback.
Yes, write something in there that helps me out as well.
Yeah. So suddenly, beekeepers and ambassadors shall receive 500 acres upon completion of their service. Arena champions and former ambassadors shall be honored at all feast days. This just kept happening.
Right. We just put the ambassador there.
Yeah, it was just like, what's the term? Pork barreling legislation? Like, all of it got pork barreled
Yeah.
for just ambassadors and
For
former
good old
ambassadors.
Chad.
Yeah, Chad made out like a bandit.
Yeah, Chad was pretty good. I gotta say, he was pretty alpha in that term.
Yeah. What was the other one? We had 3 people secrets who were just like awful people. Like,
Yeah.
we had one person who was like playing this archduke, like, not the top dog, but top 5.
Right.
And he wanted to spread the study of beekeeping throughout the kingdom.
Yes.
Which is such a mundane goal.
It most mundane.
And then his secret was he's part of a human sacrificing bee worshipping cult. We had another person who's just an innkeeper who somehow got invited to the King's Privy Council, who wants more traffic on the road, but also kills and robs lone travelers.
Yeah.
And then we had one guy who was the arena master, former champion, who sold opium on the side.
As you do.
Those 3 made a powerful coalition, Kevin. It got bad. The main roads to the main city where the arena were paved.
Yeah.
The arenas were expanded, but and strange esoteric bee statues were placed in them. Like it.
Well, I do like how all of these like dark, terrible secrets kind of work for everybody, because more people on opium, easier to kill.
Well, that was
more people easier to kill. More people easy to sacrifice to your bee cult.
Yeah,
so,
and more people on the road to sacrifice, but also more people coming to the arena.
And more people coming in.
Like, everything, they work together so well. And there was this one.
Please ignore those bloody corpses.
Yeah, and there was this one poor guy who was just a commodore that wanted to be an admiral who owed a bunch of money to foreign mercenaries.
Yeah, got pretty shafted, I bet.
Oh my, that guy just got played routinely.
Yeah.
All debt shall be canceled. Like, oh man, like, he tried so hard and it failed every time. I felt so bad.
It's hard to play something where you're all like 4 people are against you in the beginning, or 3 people, I should say.
It wasn't even they're against them. They just all had a goal.
They
all realized very quickly that, like, hey, we don't need to work against each other. And, like, my students are normally spiteful as can be.
Yeah.
I happen to have a very good group for this.
Right.
And none of them had angered each other that particular day.
Oh, okay.
So they all made a coalition government and really hammered through some legislation.
Well, the funny thing is, like, you told me, like, Kevin, I play this with, like, so many people and everything, but the most spiteful person I played with so far was you.
Yeah, Kevin really, for some reason, I can't even remember what the character I played besides the princess was.
You played Ambassador Chad.
Oh, that's right. I played Ambassador Chad. That's right, because I love that so much. Kevin just really wanted, or one of his characters, particularly some nobleman, the one that killed his son.
Yeah.
Really just wanted the worst for Ambassador Chad.
Yeah. So,
and I did nothing.
No, you did nothing to anger me, but I just don't like Ambassador Chad. Yeah, it was things like ambassadors are enemies of the crown, and also they get to pick who is the next heir.
That was the ambassadors shall be treated as archdukes. Got changed to ambassadors shall be treated as arch enemies. And then a council of I think it was just a council will be, and then it was we'll choose the next heir, and then it became an ambassadorial council.
Yes, and then
Kevin, your friends can disappoint you. Your enemies are either impressive or easily defeated. Your enemies can never disappoint you. If they do poorly, then you just won. If they give you a challenge, then they are a worthy foe.
Yes, okay.
That is from a book I've read recently, so I can't take credit for that. But
that's good.
This entire culture they have, these weird wolf people, is based around this idea of, like, honored enemies.
Yes, okay.
And, like, that's more important than friends. Like, this guy calls his grandfather the term of honored enemy at one point.
Wow, okay.
And his grandfather's like, yeah, shut up, pup.
And that's why you're my honored enemy.
They were both, like, super high rank. Like, the idea of ambition in that culture was very interesting.
Yeah.
And it was very gleeful, despite the fact they lived, like, 300 years.
Yes,
if you
okay.
get that old, like, it's impressive.
Right, because it mostly kill each other.
Because half of you don't make it to 20.
Yeah,
and
okay.
Like, oh, and you're 300. Like, oh, you know how to play this game.
Yeah, you're a smart man.
Yeah.
Smart man. So what is one more as well that we did play that I enjoyed a lot was the political one.
Oh yeah, so I took the political ones out. I love that sort of game.
Yeah.
This one's called Election, and you play in some sort of country. It doesn't specify what. I would suggest not America because if you know a little bit about how politics work in parliaments with not um, first past the post electoral systems, this makes
Yeah.
a lot more sense. I'm aware that's a really deep cut for anyone.
Yeah, it's
who
a
does
really
not
deep
care.
cut. That's like a really deep cut.
But you all play people in a political party.
Yep.
And you make up whatever you want. And Kevin and I made up weird parties. I picked up one, or I made one that I always pick for my kind of generic fantasy or like fictional political parties, which is monarchist, which very quickly became feudalist party, which normally I'm not not what I do, but it just happened to fit.
Well, it just fit in with all the things you were trying to pass.
Yeah, and Kevin decided to play the anti-life party,
Yeah, I just want to kill.
which surprised me on multiple levels, knowing Kevin.
Yeah. It was a fun party.
Yeah, I'm more surprised that was the first thing you thought of and so quickly.
I mean, I was thinking like, okay, what's like something stupid that wouldn't make any sense and have like the stupidest, dumbest things that I could probably propose. Oh, anti-life party. Okay, done.
Yeah, and then for an NPC, we wanted to make an NPC because you need 3 more people to play.
Yeah.
But we also didn't want to really argue on policies or what they'd be, so we picked the Preserver Party from Shadowrun.
Yes.
And I honestly, even if Kevin and I weren't like, you can never be truly unbiased in anything, but I think having that base of what would the Preserver Party do really made that easy. But you all play with a deck of cards, no dice. And
what? Yeah. Well, WWPD. What would the Preserver Party do?
So, Kevin, speaking from the idea, so you the Preserver Parties, I want you to make this into a Preserver Party law.
Okay.
So what happens is you draw 2 cards from deck of cards.
Yep.
Like a normal deck, not like a Magic deck or a Tarot deck or anything.
Yep, just normal cards, face cards, and other such cards.
Just not jokers.
Yeah.
Okay, so Kevin, I'm just going to close my eyes and randomly pick 2.
Yep.
All right, you have to reprioritize education.
Okay, so I'm going to say that we're going to reprioritize education by getting rid of all education about any sort of foreign cultures and keeping it only about America. We only need to go and remember America's history. That is it. So get rid of France, get rid of Spain, get rid of all those different countries. Don't need them.
All right, so by the rules, he has a full minute if he wants to use it.
Yeah.
For that, everyone else is then given 30 seconds to say why their party disapproves. So if I'm the monarchist, I'd be like, well, while I understand a strong centralized education on your history is important, I think it's equally important to realize that other countries exist. We need to really show the downfalls of democratic governments and the long-standing traditions of the monarchies throughout the world. Even going to the English crown as both the start of our culture and the longest prevailing monarchy, it would be incredibly important. And why would the anti-life party oppose this legislation, Kevin?
Well, I think we can find a lot of inspiration from different kind of cultures, like the Spanish Inquisition. That's an important part of history. The French Revolution, important part of history. Just everything World War I, World War II, important parts of history and how to kill each other. These are important things that our children need to know. So I would rather us have more knowledge on how to kill instead of less.
Yeah, you can see why I was surprised Kevin picked this party. So then you're all dealt a card face down. You don't get to see it.
Yep.
And then you give it to whoever you think did the best, who you want to put your public support behind. Think politically. So, out of the monarchist party, I don't... it's kind of a lose-lose situation there.
It is, yeah.
I'd actually probably have to go with the Preserver Party just for the central one. So I'd give them my card.
Yeah.
The Preserver Party would give probably the Anti-Life Party its card because that's sort of its goal in a way.
Yeah, in a way.
And then the Anti-Life would give who? Probably the Preserver?
Probably the Preserver Party.
Yeah. So you do this until everyone's introduced 2 bits of, not legislation, campaign promises.
Yeah.
And then everyone flips over their cards to see who wins. Red cards are worth nothing. which I've done with my students as well, and that screwed over so many people.
That's great. It's
like
great.
the clear winner just lost so many times. But the idea is, sometimes your public sport doesn't mean anything to their supporters.
Yeah.
So why would it help? And then face cards are worth 12 points, and everything else is worth the amount of points on your card.
And ace is only worth 1, correct?
Yeah, ace is low. And after 2 rounds, whoever has the most wins. Now, we had a fun time with this, I think. The Preserver Anti-Life Coalition really destroyed the Monarchists, though.
Yeah, the Monarchists had no chance.
No, I think the Preserver Party won that.
I would say that would make sense, just because the anti-life party seems more like a flash in the pan kind of party.
Yeah, because I think the Preserver Party got more of my cards.
Yes, yeah.
And
because that seems like the less terrible out of the two.
Yeah, I mean, at least if we're doing strong central base, we can go, yes, but that base should be the crown.
Yes. I can live off that.
Yeah, it's like, that's closer.
Yeah.
Than everyone's dead.
Yeah, very true.
So, yeah, I did this with my students, and the hilarity of their political parties. All right, Kevin, I'm going to list the 4 that I played with the most, and you need to tell me which one won literally every time we played. Okay. So they all either went with, like, an abbreviation that's cool, or an acronym.
Yep.
So we had KIL, CIL, the Connecticut Independence League.
Okay. Go on.
We had the CCC.
Okay.
The guess what that stands for, Kevin?
Communist something corporation.
Cat Citizenship Coalition.
See, I would never have guessed that. Okay.
There's a cat on the school's grounds recently, and they've all kind of fallen in love with them. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. The WWE, which is just the WWE.
WWE. Okay. Well, the rest. Okay. Yeah.
And the Gold Economic Trust, who wanted to go back on the gold standard.
So I had to guess which one won every time.
Every time, literally every time I played, every time I played was with most of these people.
Okay.
I think, 2 of them literally always.
All right. Let me ask one question.
Yes.
All right. So is Kill supposed to be like a funny, ironic name, or is it?
Yeah, it was just he tried to make something you could say like Kill.
Yeah. Okay.
But no, his entire platform was Connecticut needs to be a independent country, and until it's a sovereign nation, needs as many government support programs and benefits as possible.
Okay. You know what? I've got a feeling that the gold standard won the most for some stupid reason.
All right, Kevin, you're right. That's the one that should have won more times or not, but the red cards just kept screwing over that poor kid. No. The WWE won every time.
Oh,
literally every time.
Of course.
And it was hilarious because it was, when we're going through and the random policies you have to make are by far the funniest.
Yeah.
So when I was talking about restructuring immigration, for example, it became anyone could immigrate if they could beat John Cena in a cage match.
John Cena.
Yeah.
Or when they had to
You can throw me out of the ring, brother, but you can't throw me out of the country.
or they had to slash taxes, and his argument was, we're not going to tax people anymore. We're going to sell the people what they want. Tickets to wrestling matches every day. At one point, they were talking, he had space, and his argument was, we don't want to privatize space. We want to make a nationalized space station so you can watch zero-G cage matches.
I don't know how it's going to look, brother, but it should be awesome.
Yeah, but can you imagine on pay-per-view?
Pay-per-view.
Can you imagine watching zero-G wrestling? Just watching, especially.
So it's just be them floating around.
Yeah, but
it would just be that.
At first, especially when they have no idea what they're doing, it would be amazing. And
it would be funny. It would be
was how he wanted to flood his infrastructure project.
How do we pin?
Yeah,
How do we pin? I can't get back down to the ground. How do we pin?
But his idea was all of the training matches was going to be televised, even if they have no idea what they're doing, and they were going to stay in character the entire time.
Oh, that'd be awesome. That'd be
That's how they were going to pay for NASA.
Oh, that'd be great. I would love
Right?
that.
It was like, man,
I would watch that all day.
like it was like, this is hilarious. Also, I weirdly like your policies.
And they're all like built for space too.
Yeah.
They're all like really super in shape.
I was like, oh, what was like? Yeah, there was one where it's like, they're going through. It's like, yeah, we'll do it through defense. Everyone should have a clear idea of American education.
Yeah.
John Cena got brought up a lot.
Well, as you do.
Yeah. It was very good. I was still surprised how well he did in this.
I mean, yeah, I'm also surprised by that.
But yeah, the WWE, clearly the masters of politics.
Well, of course. Yeah. All right. I agree with that. So, I think we had a lot of fun here today, Ted.
Oh, yeah, and it shows you, with a lot of effort, even if you have ridiculous constraints, you can still make a masterpiece.
Now, here's the one thing I'll say. All these games are fantastic. Check out micro RPGs. It's good to play just anytime, really, and you don't need a lot of like material or anything else to do them.
Some you don't need anything but a friend. And in fact, there's a couple that are just by yourself. I mean, I just found one with a solo play. It's called Climb the Spire.
Nice. Okay.
And it just says if you want to make it into a roguelike and just make Slay the Spire with dice, just put some encounters on index cards and do it by yourself. It's a fun way to spend an hour.
Yeah. I mean, especially during the apocalypse right now, we need different ways to entertain and keep ourselves occupied. So this is a good way. Just take it sometime with your family or friends, and then try to play one of these games. And it'd be a really fun and interesting time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Now, just one asterisk. Some of them, especially the last years, are ridiculously sad.
Yes.
I'm just saying, like, the older you get, the wilder and weirder. Like, some of the new ones are amazing. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying there are 2 or 3 that are just tragedies.
Yep.
Like, hell, there's one about being a person with Alzheimer's. There's another one about clearing bombs on the road of Afghanistan. Yeah, just
like IEDs. Like,
yeah.
Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah, like if you want to have an emotional experience,
If you want some heavy stuff,
like there are some. Read them ahead of time.
Yeah.
I mean, otherwise, no mistakes, only deeper plans.
Yes, no mistakes, only deeper plans. That is a fun time and a half.
You can't go wrong with that one, no matter who you're playing with.
Yep. Crack open a beer, get your friends, have a good old-fashioned time.
And shoot Kevin in the back.
Several times. So, thank everybody for coming on down and listening to us here talk about different things. I don't know why I went with that accent, but thank you all for listening. And we'll be coming up with something very, very special very, very soon.
Ted's scared as always.
Ted, no reason to be scared, even when it's Hallows Eve.
No, I don't get the reference there, and I'm pretty sure it's a hint to the next movie.
Yeah, it is. So,
Wait, was that the Crypt Keeper?
Maybe. Ted, like, don't ever look into what I do and try to find deeper meaning. Just like many things, there's no deeper meaning to what I do.
No deeper meaning, only plans.
All right, thank you, everybody. Good night.
Good morning.
And have a nice day.